So today, we're going to talk about something kind of wild. How the very personal and very permanent decision to get a tattoo can actually teach us a massive lesson about our money and our future.
It all starts right there, doesn't it? That one moment, a choice has been made. And I think a lot of us know that feeling, that point of no return, when you decide to do something big, something that's going to stick around.
And that really leads to the big question we're tackling today. We tend to focus on these big, visible decisions, but what if the marks that last the longest are the ones we can't even see? This really sets the stage for a much deeper conversation.
Okay, so first things first, let's talk about the tattoo itself. Before anyone even thinks about sitting in that chair, there's this whole process of thinking, researching, and committing. We're going to break down the anatomy of a choice that is literally designed to last forever.
The magic word here is indelible. I mean, the ink they use for tattoos is made specifically so it can't be removed. You can't just delete it or wash it away. This isn't temporary face paint. It's a permanent change. And that's exactly why the decision carries so much weight.
And this just lays it out so clearly. You think getting a tattoo can be painful? Well, trying to get one removed, that's a whole different ballgame. We're talking more sessions, often more pain, and using powerful lasers to basically blast the ink out of your skin. The message couldn't be clear. Trying to undo a permanent choice is way, way harder than making it in the first place.
And because of that, any smart advice you get about tattoos sounds pretty much like this checklist. You think it over, you do your homework, you find a real professional, and you make absolutely sure everything is safe, clean, and hygienic. The whole process is built on being careful and planning ahead.
Okay, so now for the pivot. This is where it gets really interesting. Because that same idea of permanence, it applies perfectly to something we all deal with every single day, our money. We're about to connect that idea of permanent ink to the financial habits that can stick with us for life.
Seriously, take a second and really think about that. Was it where you went to school? A job you took? A relationship? Just what's the one decision that's had the most lasting impact on your life? Got it? Okay, hold on to that thought.
Because here's the twist. What if your most permanent mark isn't some single big event, but a pattern? A whole series of small daily choices you make with your money that, over time, create a reality that's just as hard to change as ink on your skin.
So if our financial habits are like getting a tattoo, how do we make sure we end up with a masterpiece instead of, a regret? Well, the good news is there's a blueprint. We're going to walk through 5 super clear, powerful rules for designing the financial life you actually want.
And here they are, the 5 big rules. Think of this as the master blueprint for your financial future. They really build on each other, from the basics of creating extra cash all the way to making your money work for you. Let's break them down one by one. Everything, and I mean everything, starts with rule number 1. Spend less than you earn. This is the bedrock. Without this, none of the other rules even matter. If you're bringing in $5,000 a month, you have to live on less than that. That discipline, creating that gap, is what gives you the power to build everything else.
All right, next up, rule number 2 is all about building that safety net. This is your financial protection against all the crazy stuff life throws at you. Just like you'd check that a tattoo parlor is super hygienic to avoid an infection, an emergency fund protects your financial health from unexpected shocks.
And look, why is this so crucial? Well, because life is life, right? Your car breaks down, the roof starts leaking, you get laid off. Without that fund, you're suddenly forced to go into debt. Or worse, sell your investments at the worst possible time. This safety net, it gives you options. It takes the stress away.
Oh man, I love this quote. It's the perfect way to introduce rule number 3. Before you even think about stocks or real estate, the single best place to put your money and your energy is right back into you. Your personal growth is the engine for your financial growth. It's that simple.
And we're not talking about some vague idea here. This is about real, concrete stuff you can do. Master the skills you already have. Take a course. Buy better tools for your job. Read the books that'll make you an expert. This is just like picking the perfect, most meaningful design for your tattoo. It's an investment that raises your value for good. And once you've done that, once you've invested in yourself, you unlock rule number 4. And this one is a huge mental shift. You've got to stop trading your time for money and start getting paid for the value you create. When your income is tied to what you produce, not the hours you clock in, your earning potential is suddenly uncapped. It's about being so good they pay you for the result, not just the effort. And that brings us to the grand finale, the fifth and final rule, creating passive income. See, by following the first 4 rules, you'll eventually have some capital to invest. Now it's time to put that money to work. Let your assets, whether it's a business, real estate, stocks, start making money for you even when you're sleeping. This is the end game. Building systems that earn money without you having to trade your time for it.
Okay, let's tie this all together now. We started this whole conversation with the idea of a permanent tattoo, and we've ended up with a blueprint for building wealth. So now let's see how these 2 things that seem so different are actually telling the exact same story.
And check this out. This lays it out perfectly. Choosing a meaningful design, that's just like investing in your skills. Finding a clean, safe parlor, that's your emergency fund. Enduring the pain of the needle, that's the discipline of spending less than you earn. See? Both paths, when you do them with thought and intention, lead to a permanent, amazing result.
At the end of the day, every single choice you make, whether it's with ink or with your money, it's a brushstroke on the canvas of your life. The principles are there. The blueprint is right in front of you. So the only real question left is, what kind of masterpiece are you going to create?